Tracy Grimshaw, and welcome to the Sunday night edition of 5 Minutes, where we will be unpacking a very important topic of the impression of people with a disability in society. Now, we're going to cut over to the main studio where we have Natasha Todorovic, who will be unpacking and discussing this topic. Hi, I'm Natasha Todorovic. Today, the topic for critical discussion is the constant exclusion and oppression of people with a disability. The word attitude can be defined as a summary evaluation of an object of thought, meaning the value a person assigns to a person, place, or object. An individual's attitudes can be positive and negative and can take shape through many processes such as their past experiences and what they have been exposed to. Attitudes are held by people in society which are formed through three processes, including affect, cognition, and behaviour. But what do these processes mean? The first formed attitude is the affective, which is the emotions or feelings associated with our attitude. For example, I am scared of snakes. The behavioural attitude formation is the behaviour displayed as a result of our attitude. For example, I will avoid snakes, and if I see one, I will scream. And lastly, cognitive attitude formation is our brain's thinking process and logical assessment. For example, I believe snakes are dangerous. So what does attitude formation have to do with disability? Did you know that over 4 million people in Australia have some form of disability? That's 1 in 5 people. It is essential that we reflect on our attitudes and their formation towards people with a disability, as they are constantly being oppressed and excluded. In doing this, we as a community will be able to better understand our attitudes towards those with a disability, which ultimately will support positive attitude formation. Disability is defined as a continuing condition that restricts everyday activities. There are many types of disabilities which can be both physical, visible, or mental, less visible, requiring different types of assistance. There are many commonly held stereotypes towards people with a disability, and these include attitudes of sympathy or pity, attitudes that people with a disability are inspiring, or more uncommonly expressed as super crips. Attitudes that people with a disability are people to be afraid of. And lastly, attitudes that people with a disability are a financial and emotional burden on their families or society. Negative attitude formation affects people with a disability in a vast number of ways, including socially, emotionally, mentally, financially, and physically. When an individual is discriminated against due to their disability, they will begin to feel oppressed by society and feel as though they do not belong in their community. This leaves the individual with a feeling of neglect and can impede on their ability to gain employment, live their life independently, or connect socially with their community. There are laws preventing the oppression of people with a disability, but these laws do not stop the formation of negative attitudes against these individuals, and, at times, are the cause for the negative attitude formed. It is essential that as a society, we accept disability as part of human diversity. One of the major contributors to attitude formation of people with a disability is media. Social media, TV, radio, film, and newspaper are all forms of media which influence the formation of people's attitudes towards people, places, or objects through its ability to effectively portray a message to its audience. In our society today, the increase in technology means that media plays a vital role in attitude formation. With regards to people with a disability, the improper use of language, which under or over represents these individuals, can be seen as the #1 most influential component of media on attitude formation. An example can be seen where people with a disability are often referred to as super crips, defined as an individuals whose inspirational stories of courage, dedication, and hard work provide that it can be done, that one can defy the odds and accomplish the impossible. Not all people with a disability want to be seen as inspirational, as that would highlight their difference from a person without a disability. This also creates a benchmark or unrealistic expectation for people with a disability that, if only they tried hard enough, they can achieve the unachievable.
This example forms negative attitudes which can impact relationships between
People with a disability and those without, which can lead to issues with inclusivity, which causes discrimination. It is evident that people who lack mere exposure to people with a disability have a negative attitude towards them and reinforce commonly held stereotypes within society due to their ignorance. When an individual is exposed to a person with a disability, their attitude is enhanced towards them as an individual. It is imperative that in today's society, we pride ourselves in becoming disability friendly within our schools, communities, and in our everyday life, therefore increasing our exposure to people with a disability. As a result of an increase in exposure, commonly held stereotypes will be diminished and the occurrence of discrimination will most certainly decrease. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of 5 Minutes. I'm Natasha Todorovic. Back to you, Tracy. Thank you, Natasha. Well, that concludes today's segment on 5 Minutes. Please keep watching because up next we have Married at First Sight. I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Good evening.